Happy Thursday morning, everybody. God bless golf. Episode 10, a big milestone for us. To my right in studio in our beach location, Richie Stapleton, aka Richie Spice, and Timmy Tucker to my left as we get right into probably the favorite week of everybody's year when it comes to golf, and that is the Masters. Let's jump right into it. First of all, Timmy, how you doing, bud? I see you got some Masters gear. We're going to have some insight right off the bat. How does it feel not being there this year? You bummed or you cool with it?
No, I'm good. I like watching it on TV.
You don't miss the hills, do you?
Oh,
mean,
it's amazing.
It's nice there right now, so the hills aren't bad. It's nice and it's chilly there this morning.
So we were talking earlier about just why this Masters tournament feels different from many others, and you've obviously caddied in all four majors. And I know we've asked you this before, and you've talked about how much work you actually do, which is true. I know you do. But is there a different vibe just from compared to a U.S. Open, a British, or a PGA? Like when you're at Augusta, is it as much the golf course or just the aura of the entire place and everything around?
Yeah, I never really thought of it until you asked me the question, but like all four majors have their own individual feel, right? But Augusta definitely has its own. It's the first one of the year every year. So, and all the history, there's history at all of them, but like Augusta is just so big, it's arguably.
Is it definitely have the historical grip on all of it? I know the Open's technically the oldest one.
No, it's like, the thing is, it's the same course every year. Like if the U.S. Open were at the same course every year, it'd probably have the same feel as Augusta. But it's just they control the tournament so well. Everything is perfect, and it's amazing what they do there.
Hey, bud.
Hey, I got you now.
I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah.
We refreshed and now we're back. But go ahead, Timmy. You were saying.
No, I was just saying, like if the U.S. Open were at the same course every year, it'd have kind of the same feel as Augusta. But everything, what to expect there. And like I say, I will say I'm a little more nervous caddying at Augusta than anywhere else just because the wind is so swirly.
Yeah.
And the precision you have to be
That's
there.
a good question. You think
is really
you just made a good question real
really
quick. I'm curious what you guys think on this. Like, do you think the U.S. Open should be at the same course every 4 years or have like a 4-course rota? What do you think? I mean, is that like, we got 4 of these big Oakmont and, 3 others that are just Bethpage that are just monument golf courses. Do you think we should have the U.S. Open like that?
Well, I can say for me, I'm a believer, like with the Super Bowl, in my opinion, the Super Bowl should be in Miami, San Diego, or Arizona every year. And it should be the 3 places it rotates to. As far as U.S. Open goes, I would like to see 4 or 5, maybe 6 courses that are in the rotation, the Oakland Hills, Shinnecock, just the courses that just pound you, basically. Pretty much anything in New Jersey or New York.
In traditional style, right?
Yeah.
Not the Chambers Bay U.S. Opens.
I mean, look, I get why they do it, and I understand. I played Chambers Bay. It's awesome. I played Erin Hills. It's awesome. But, like, to me, the historical fact, I think the reason why people love the Masters is because they know what every hole is, especially now with all the coverage, and know what the Masters happen to see literally every shot. But, the way you view U.S. Opens when they go to those more wide open kind of public tracks like Erin Hills and Chambers Bay, it just doesn't have the same setting as watching Tiger at, I mean, I guess Bethpage is public too, but like Bethpage should be on there, Shinny, stuff like that. But what's
with the Open, I wished it were just at like a Parkland golf course. I don't like that it's at Shinnecock. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, I just don't like. I thought Pebble was a great Open site. Where I thought LACC was terrible.
Sure.
Erin Hills, I didn't like. Where, Oakmont was amazing. Oakmont's unbelievable Open for the fans because anything you can bogey any hole. I mean, the lead can change constantly as it did. Same with here at Augusta. That's the beautiful part. Like, this year at Augusta, if you're a gambler, I'm betting everybody in the afternoon group. You know what I mean? Just because the morning, it's cold right now. Like Bryson's hitting off wet grass. He's, on the range, he hit a drive 296 yards, and they're like, oh, he mishit that. He must have mishit that. It didn't go very far for him. And it's like, no, it's cold.
Right.
Like that, it's cold and wet. Makes sense, right? He had 180 ball speed and it carried 296. That would normally carry, 320 for him. So huge advantage for the afternoon guys because the wind is up right now and it's going to die this afternoon. So it's going to be like afternooners. And then tomorrow, the wind is nothing all day. So big advantage if you're in the afternoon. Siwoo last tee time.
I know. I love that. I threw a little nugget on Siwoo Kim. So He's 156 today. That's who we're pulling for. We're going to get basically every shot he hits today. Someone was talking earlier this morning. I'm glad you brought that up about Bryson. They were saying his clubs, the fact that they're all the same length, a disadvantage for him at Augusta. That doesn't seem to make much sense to me. What's your take on that, Tim?
I mean, it's a disadvantage for a person with slow club head speed. Because what happens, I try to set a course, right? And the problem with them is that once you start, because my swing speed is, my driver speed now is like 105. It's terrible, right? Where his is like 130 or 128. Like when you start getting into the 6, 5, 4, your gaps shrink big time, where it's like you don't even need a 5-iron because you go 6 to 4, right? And then it just tops out. But he can hit a 4-iron, 240 yards, so
They're your clubs of you.
so that's unique for him, I will say. But for people that don't know, his irons do have roll and bulge on them like a driver.
On the out toward the toe and all that. I remember you seeing that one time.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting. I mean, how many cuts have you seen him? Massive cut slices have you ever seen him hit? Right, very few. He likes to keep it one way, doesn't he?
Yeah, he prefers to draw it.
Yeah.
But he's like the crazy tour pro. He doesn't want to overdraw it and he doesn't want to block it.
Yeah.
Don't
over-release it,
hit it.
but don't hit it right.
It's amazing. I'm glad you said that because, sometimes I remember watching Kurt Kitayama hit drivers, and it's like it looks like he's trying to do anything but draw it, but he draws it when he crushes it.
Yeah. Yeah, he wants to. What's funny, Kurt is a left to right player, all right? With the driver, with the driver and the irons, but 3-wood and 7-wood, he hits a draw every time with them. And on demand. I'm always confident when he has either one of those. Driver I'm a little worried about, But if you guys if anybody's been to Bay Hill and seen the 4th hole, there's this tree that's probably, I don't know, 200 yards off the tee, 180 yards off the tee, and it's probably like 30 feet tall. Kurt, the first week I worked, or the first week, when he won at Arnold Palmer, when I caddied for him there, he was like, he pumped it OB there. And I mean, I've never seen anybody hit it OB there. There is a creek up the right side.
Over the creek,
there,
I'm gonna say, right?
Houses. He airmails it over the houses. It was not even close. And I'm like, what happened? He's like, I was worried about that tree. I'm like, dude, you hit it 100 feet in the air. What are you talking about?
What is your apex?
Yeah.
And what is your distance to apex on that driver? Probably 200 yards.
I can relate.
Yeah. I mean, so this year he sent me a picture of it. And during the practice round, he took a picture and he goes, this tree's getting taller. And it's like, you look at it, it's like, which tree?
Yeah, right.
It's not even there.
I had to think about that for a second when you're like, he blew it out of bounds on 4. I'm like, wait a minute. Isn't that a lateral hazard? Oh, yeah. Open the houses.
Yeah, dude, it was
Tim, did you watch any of the par 3 yesterday? Get to see any of it at all?
No, unfortunately, I did not.
So,
that's not my tradition, right? I've never caddied in it. I've never wanted to. I've never seen it. I've never been on it. So I don't know anything about it. But, obviously I've seen some of it, in the past, but never caddied for my player there, which is nice. You get a break.
Yeah, it's it was interesting. ESPN was covering it yesterday, and Jason Kelsey, for some reason, was out there. Kevin Hart was caddying for Bryson. That part to me seems I think that's kind of
unnecessary.
Yeah, that's a good word. I was going to use a worse word than that, but that's a great word. The parts that I love the most are seeing the kids out there because, you got the parents with the kids and they're showing, Rory's daughter made a putt last year, and you got little Fleetwood, is it Freddie or Frankie Fleetwood? It's like this cute little 7-year-old who's just probably been thinking about trying to get over the water on this little hole and all that stuff. And I think it was a little too much, obviously, on the kids that they kept asking the same questions, but the par 3 seems like a super fun event for all the patrons there, and the experience of the kids. I saw an interview with Brooks, and his son was out there. I'm getting a little choked up watching it just because of all the experiences, I've had with my children. Obviously not at the par 3 at Augusta, but those kind of moments, kind of resonate to anybody that's watching it. And I think that going forward, I'd rather see that. And I love Jason Kelsey. It's nothing against him, but what's he doing out there? Artie Smith is, good dude, but it's I don't know. It's a little bit too much ESPN'd out for me. And, you watch a little bit of it. I don't know the exact stats of who won it. I know there's some tradition that nobody's ever won the par 3 and won the tournament. And I guess people like for some reason they think they can win the Masters, but if they won the par three, they're not going to. It's kind of stupid too. Like
Right. I would try and
that's
win
what
the
I'm
par three if
saying.
I were playing.
At least my first year.
You know, I
Dude,
want
have
to
you
win
ever
something
played
with
Augusta?
Augusta.
Yeah, I won a par three tournament at the Masters. I missed the cup, but I won the
I'd
par
take
three
that.
tournament. I mean, that's pretty cool. I don't know who won. Do we know who won?
Yeah. I will say, dude, even though I'm not a par three fan, I did see when Nicholas's grandson made the hole
Right.
in one, which, dude, like, can you imagine that guy? He's like, first off, you make a hole in one anywhere, it's great, but he made it on national TV with, you know, arguably the greatest golfer to ever walk the
Yeah.
planet, other than Tiger. But it was like, could you imagine how that felt? And the kid's a stud anyway,
Yeah.
right? I think he played for Notre Dame, right?
Yeah, but that was exactly no, that kid plays golf.
Oh, does he? Okay.
One of Jack's. I mean, Jack's got 47.
Or no, the other one played it.
But she and Equilary back in the day.
Yeah, I think his son played. He was a tight end for Notre Dame
Yeah.
or something. The one that made the hole in one. I don't even know his
But
name.
yeah, it's those kind of moments which make that tournament cool. Certainly a tradition. People, obviously the patrons out there having a great time watching that, and you know, good for TV. But again, a little bit too much ESPN. I know Kevin Hart and Bryson are buddies. It is kind of funny too. Speaking of Bryson, you know, for all these years, for you know, all these anti-livers, right? And they're still talking about the only people that talk about live are PGA Tour guys. Like live guys never talk about the PGA Tour, which is kind of annoying. And all of a sudden, they are like they're welcoming home Bryson like he's come back to the PGA Tour. I mean, I know they're trying to, you know, be all up on Brooks as if Brooks moves the needle, but clearly Bryson moves the needle as much as anybody that's playing professional golf now, I think. And they really showcased him a lot compared to all the other guys on live. You haven't even heard. I mean, I think they did an interview with John Rahm, but I mean, it's like here's Cam Smith hitting 4 balls, but man, they are jumping on the Bryson train.
It's kind of a men
Yeah,
between the
they will.
YouTube and the, you know, the live and the PGA a little bit for sure. It was a little gimmicky yesterday for sure. I agree with you there. Like you said unnecessary, whatever. But I don't know. That's the first time we've seen all that culture of the two different tours and the YouTube kind of the celebrityness that can be golf, which can be fun. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I mean, I watched every single minute of it. Not sure that I loved it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I would rather heard Scott Van Pelt and Wright Thompson throw a few essays in there than, you know what I mean? Than listen to Kevin Hart babble about, I'm not here to caddy. I'm here to caddy. I'm not a celebrity. Like,
Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but someone said Jason Kelsey jumped in one of the lakes.
Oh, I don't know. I have not. You know what, man? I have refrained from watching any of the tournament until today.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't want to watch any of the pregame because it gets to me a
It's
little
a lot.
bit. But you know, like this morning, I was listening to him talk about Bryson's warm up, and like everything they were saying was not even accurate. You know, because I know what he does, right? So you know, it's overkill for me. So I'm excited that the tournament started, and I will watch every bit of it. You know, I'm going to caddy next week at Hilton Head, and normally I fly out on Sunday, but because I want to see the final round in its entirety, I'm leaving Saturday.
yeah. So I'm watching. We're sitting here. We've got a live looking going on, watching behind us, and I'm watching Rory hit a ton of 3 woods, right? And got a question for you. You know, I've seen it, I've walked it, but you know, if you're a guy, you know, and Bryson's a right to left player, and I would consider Rory a right to left player under the pressure. Like how important is it to dial back sometimes out there and catch a slope, like on 10, right? Like, are you trying to play back to catch this slope and that ridge? Like, is that golf course still traditional?
Yeah, 10, like there's a target that is at 300 yards. You know, the run out's like 305 with the downhill, plays 28 downhill. But anyway, you're trying to hit, a lot of times they hit 3 wood because if they do block it, it's not going through,
yeah.
but they're trying to put a nice draw on it. And if they draw it, then it's going to run down the hill and it's
Yeah.
fine. Like rarely do I see someone hit driver there unless it's into the wind or they're a shorter hitter. You know, a draw out there is obviously these long hitters, man, these par fives, you know, 2 is a big draw. Kurt hit one way down there. Bryson's going to bomb one. It's downwind. It's down off the left. He's going to hit a huge drive there and probably make eagle or birdie, I bet, today. Let's see. 8 is a really tough driving hole, I think, for a right to lefter because it narrows at the bunker. You can't get up in the face. The 13's a big draw.
You think
And
eight's one of the most? I think eight's one of those interesting tee shots from a view standpoint because you're just sitting in the middle of the golf course, in the middle of if there were no fans there, you'd be like, oh wow, I'm literally just on a random tee box
Right.
here, and then you're like, oh wait, the bunker's
right.
right and the trees are left. It looks
Yeah, you wouldn't know. Like, if there were no fans there, you wouldn't know where to walk
Right,
probably.
yeah.
So that's just that's a tough. That's a hole where I see someone hitting a 3-wood. I talk Kurt into it all the
Yeah.
time, and he's because you can hit 3-wood, right?
Sure.
And if you're in the middle of the bunker, you can advance it up. The problem is you get up in the lip, and then you're hitting it. You can't even get to the top of the hill usually out of the bunker, and then you have a blind shot into the
Yeah.
green. So if you lay back with 3-wood there, it's you can still get home, and it's downwind as well today. So
And that's a good
favorable-
point too, Timmy,
favorable winds.
because most of the shot you're going to want into that second hole, you'd prefer to have a little curve and roll on it. So why not go 3-wood versus? Because you're not. I guess if you bomb on downwind, somebody might have a 4-iron in there, but usually you're hitting something with some sort of draw. It's trying to bounce up there. So,
You're not carrying those bunkers off the tee, are you? Downwind?
No, it's not really down. It's down. It's a little down, mostly off the
Okay.
right there today. But yeah, if it is downwind or no wind, you can carry it. Like Bryson can carry all the
Yeah.
bunkers.
That's funny you say that about Red
I
Flags
don't
out
see
from
him.
the
I
front.
see him hitting driver every day. He's gonna full
Yeah.
send.
just an exciting time and such a great event, and to see all the everybody's doing as we speak here. Bryson and Rory playing today.
About 25 minutes here.
Yeah, actually Bryson's on number 2, Timmy, as we speak.
Yeah, he's hitting his tee shot right
Yeah.
now.
When you're out there caddying at a point like this, as he's getting ready to hit a tee shot, in your brain, obviously you're trying to see where it's looking, and then are you already thinking ahead, maybe of just how you're going to approach it, or do you guys have just such a system down that everything is almost like, I don't want to say documented, but kind of scripted on how you're going to roll with each shot, first and second?
Oh God.
Yeah, there's a hazard down there. But yeah, Chip, what's unique about it, again, playing that golf course every year, and he's so focused in on what he wants to do. It's like he knows his target lines at, like, let's say, we're in, okay, he is not as dialed in and doesn't remember as much as, he always says, hey, where's center line here? And I remind him. At Augusta, we really don't, because he's locked in,
Understood.
right? He knows exactly where he wants to hit it, which takes the pressure off me. Him having more information about the golf course makes it, less stressful, I would say.
Yeah.
So, but I think he just hooked it into the trees, and there's a hazard.
Yeah, they were
down there. I
looking, they
never
were
knew
showing
that.
down the hazard. Looks like Fitzpatrick hit a 3-wood off the tee too to avoid that bunker.
Yeah.
It's got to be now, especially Tim. You first started with Bryson in 2017, I think. Is that correct? Ish.
Yeah, we played in the 2016
Okay, so
Open at Oakmont.
in the 10 years since you were a staple on tour with him, the amount of I guess the length that all of these guys now have, even up to their 3-woods. It's funny to see a guy like Fitz hit 3-wood, just say, I'm going to hit it up here because I still got a club that can get to the green. It's not even the long holes aren't long anymore. Speaking of Xander, who just spiked one down the middle. When you were on tour back in the day, when Xander was really kind of coming up, was he always one of those guys that everybody was kind of like, yeah, he's probably the best guy? Maybe not the best, but like, he always seemed like he was so good at everything. And to a man, player for player, did they all just have, I don't know if admiration is the right word, but it was pretty known that like Xander was he kind of had everything you needed to be great. Would you agree with that? Was that ever a sentiment? Did you ever hear that out there from other players?
Man, that's a tough one to answer. Like, obviously first off, Xander is the greatest guy, man. He
Yeah, he's
really
super
is.
good.
He's a guy's guy, super cool. When he won his 2 majors, right? They weren't back to back,
Not
or
quite,
he won.
but they were close. Because you back to back
Yeah,
years.
and same year. And, and then it's like, oh, okay, no surprise there, right? I was shocked that he had a little drop off after that, and he's starting to play a lot better golf now. But I think he was injured. But yeah, I remember talking to Xander after he won his very first tournament, and we were at TPC Avenel, and I was just walking the course, and he and his caddy, they were walking, and I just remember going, man, how's it feel to how's that bank account doing, right? I was so excited, and I did, it was cool to kind of, because it kind of came out the same time Bryson did, and I didn't know who Xander was at the time, and and he sure rocketed up. But now he's one of the best in the world. But yeah, obviously, I didn't think he had a great college career. He wasn't like a big guy coming out, but he's a staple on tour, and he's amazing. He's an amazing guy, an amazing player for
I'll
sure.
tell you a funny story, dude. You remember there's and thanks to you, I ended up caddying for Charles Wong for a little bit there on the web in that 2016 year. And after you stayed at our house in Florida, and you hooked us up, and we were sitting in TBC Wakefield, and on the tee in a practice round with Xander, and Charles and Xander had played in the final round of Q School together. That dude was, number one, the nicest guy, but he was the coolest cat you've ever seen. Kind of always had that little shoulder shimmy shake, but the moment was never too big for him. He was that year that I saw him out there, he was so consistent in his work. He was, like you said, well balanced. He was just such a balanced player. 68 was the number.
He just seems to kind of be, if not elite, but almost close to elite in every
category.
Yeah. And it just seems like, obviously it's no shock when he does win majors. I actually like him this week as a kind of a dark horse. I don't know what that means. I'm sure he's pretty highly favored, but
Rory, I like this.
You see guys like that.
People forget too. He's also won a gold medal. So there was two. So the thing that a good Xander moment for me was, we were playing in the U.S. Open, the Open Championship in 14, and he had won in 13, I think. And I just remember going, man, he joined us. We were playing with Colin, and he joined us. We weren't expected to play with him. And dude, he's just like, I'm like, he was as big as he could be at the time. And it just, again, like you wouldn't have thought he'd ever won a golf tournament. He just, no cockiness, no arrogance whatsoever. Just, great dude. Yeah. I'd love to see him win the Masters, That's the crazy thing about this tournament, man. If you think about it, if you're lucky enough to play in 20 Masters, the odds of you winning one is not good at all. It's like if you finish second one time, you're like, shit, that may be the best I ever do. And they won it so bad.
Wasn't Smiley Coughlin leading the Masters going into the final round, and now he's never played again?
Yeah, I don't know. I know he played well there, but I remember feeling this is weird being a caddy, but I remember I was out walking the course one day. It was actually Bay Hill, and Scott and Smiley was out there, and he was playing in the tournament, and he was just snowballing out of control, right? But still just a great guy. And it's weird that, I know he's a multimillionaire, but I always worry about his financial future. You know what I mean? I was so glad he got the gig, being an announcer, because he does a great job at it, and it's going to pay the bills for a long time for him.
Yeah, for sure. Who is that?
Yeah. He's not a great money manager, but he did get at LSU.
Yeah.
But they're going to get that done then,
as we talk, Bryce is looking for a rules official about to take a drop.
I think his ball's right. Yeah, his ball's right behind him here. Let's get the driver down.
Yeah. Well, Timmy, let's talk a few things again about this particular year. 40-year anniversary of Jack Nicklaus. I know he's one of your all-time favorites, but do you remember watching the Masters in 1986? You into golf at all in that day? I was telling a story the other night that I was 11, or that was the year I turned 11. So I was 10. And I remember telling my dad I wanted a pair of checkerboard pants and a yellow shirt. Every junior tournament I played in for a long time, that was my outfit, with a visor, of course. But it's almost funny when you think about it now, when you watch some of these clips and, the shots that he was required to hit coming down the stretch, wouldn't 8 under his last 11 holes at Augusta. Just ridiculous stuff, right? And I know that you had played Augusta. One time you were playing Augusta, and you had told me a story about Nicklaus. And if you wouldn't mind, something about he was calling himself a choking dog or something. Do you remember that story that you told me? And would you mind sharing that as we?
No, unfortunately, I don't remember the story, but I will say, I was a senior in high school. It's coming up on my 40th reunion, right? But I was a senior in high school. I didn't care about golf at all. I played with my dad a little bit, just hacking around, whatever. But I remember I was in my room. My dad's watching the Masters in the living room. And I hear him. He's like, you got to come in here. I'm like, I don't care. you know? And like one of the greatest golf moments of all time is happening in the next room. And I was too lazy to go in there and watch it, you know? And I'm like, now that I'm in golf, it's like, I've seen it. I mean, I've watched it 10 times, I bet. But a cool thing was when Bryson had won Memorial. So, you know, we had our pictures with Nicklaus and all that. And that's where he was getting a dick to me. And, you know, he said, "Hey, how many shots did you hit, kid?" You know, and I'm like, "Oh, great. Can I just get my picture with you, motherfucker? I mean, come on." But the cool thing was, so we go and, you know, we go to the media area, and I didn't go in the media room because I didn't care. I was just waiting on him to be done. And Jack Jr. comes in, right, which was caddying for him, you know, in the 86 Masters. And he's like, "Hey, Tim, can I get you anything?" And I'm like, "You know, I'd love a bucket of Coronas." And he's like, gets on his mic and calls in, you know, and says, "Hey, can you bring me a bucket of Coronas to the media center, right, for Bryson's caddy?" And I've never met him before in my life. So, you know, I asked him for a bucket of Coronas. He delivers. And then he sits there and talks to me for about 30 minutes, and I grill him about the 86 Masters. And he walked me hole by hole, every shot, all the way through. And it was the coolest thing in the world, right? To have his dad just be this jerk, and then he's just the classiest dude of all time. So I thought that was really cool to get walked through by the caddy that was there.
What did he say?
He gets it, I'll caddy.
Did
So.
you ask him about,
But anyway, that was an experience.
and you asked him about like 15 and 16. I mean, those are some of the coolest.
Yeah. I mean, dude, you know, the Masters, here's the funny thing. I was caddied for this random guy. And I'm like, you know, I'd always ask people, "Hey, what's your claim to fame?" You know, because you don't know him. And he's like, "Dude, if you look at Nicklaus's putty made on 17, I'm wearing a brown shirt and I have a big perm and I'm jumping up and down and you can see me." And every time now they show that putt, I look and I can see that guy caddied for.
Yeah, I can't even imagine what that would be like.
That's his claim to fame. He was there, right? So that's pretty cool.
And then to think about like you want to talk about just the other things that make that legendary. Brett Musburger in studio. Jim Nance is a rookie. Vern Lundquist, Ken Venturi.
Nance was a rookie.
Well, I think that was Nance's first Masters.
That's crazy.
And
Ben Wright.
Ben Wright. I mean, the yes sir on 15, and yes sir on 17, and then
I heard Nicklaus say something the other day. He goes, "The cockiest thing I've ever said all time." After he picked up the tee on 16, it is. Like,
yeah, his son said "be right," and he says it is.
yeah.
Yeah, I doubt that's the cockiest thing he's ever said.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
if he said it. Right. A 5-iron back then, by the way, too. Does that tell you anything different? The guys are hitting what, 8s now? What is that? What's that playing these? 165 in now? You know.
You know what? I have this thing here. Let me look. 16, 177 on Sunday to the back left pin.
Yeah. So you guys are hitting 7 and 8 irons,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Yeah,
We had 8
8
iron
iron
for
for
sure.
any win.
Bryson's hitting
Yeah.
9 iron.
Yeah. And Jack hit a 5-iron in 86. And
Yeah.
spun it back, by the way.
Hey, just so you know, when I played it, I hit a 5 iron too.
Did you hit the green?
Yeah, I did. I fanned it. You know where the front right pin is over the
Yeah.
bunker? I hit it right there. But it just went off the green, and so I'm chipping it, right? And I'm chipping it way out right, but I bladed it kind of, and it just bladed it perfect, almost hold it. And it hit it up to
Just
an
put a little
inch.
spin.
Oh, I love the
Little tie nipper.
little tie nipper.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah. You're like, thanks. It's exactly
Yeah,
It's one of those
exactly.
you just hold the club there for a second.
What
It's
when
out.
you played 18, Timmy, real quick, did you play it all the way back or did you move up?
I played it all the way back. I played 10 holes all the
And
way back.
18, I mean, what is Kurt thinking on 18 if he's worried about trees at Bay Hill?
Yeah, that's a good hole for him because you can, as far as he hits it with a cut, it's
Yeah.
fine. That's not a hard driving hole for him. Although we did on, you know, the last year I caddied for him on a Saturday, he pulled it, hit it into the trees, and it went. We lost a ball.
Oh.
You know, never found it. Made 7 to finish our round. Shoot 82. That was a tough day, but he came back. And this is the one I have. I was just looking at this, right? This is his shot 68 on Sunday, which was, I think, tied for the low round of the day because it was playing so difficult, but pretty cool. When I played it, I hit it in the trees. I hit driver, and then I had like 280 to the hole.
Left. Yeah.
So I didn't finish, actually. I just picked up after I hit it up short of the bunker, flopped it up, plugged it in the lip, and just picked it up. Didn't even
Thanks for
finish.
playing.
Oh my God. Man, it's so crazy too, Tim. And I mean, obviously you played not in in the Masters condition. I'm sure it was in great shape. But like when you're watching some of these guys, some of these shots into these greens, I mean, your room for error is about 1.5 yards, it seems like.
Dude, it's so crazy. Like you know, it is a crazy golf course. And I think a lot of people players have said, hey, if we had to play here, if this weren't the Masters, we might not
Yeah.
play here, because it's so demanding and there's a lot of luck involved, obviously skillful, but you can get lucky with the slopes. Really like the 16th hole to that pin, to the Sunday pin is not a hard
Sure.
shot at all. You
Until
can hit it way out right and it
Okay,
comes
so
down the
people are
slope and
around
just
you and
funnels.
trying
You
to
just got to
look.
get the distance right. So where there's other holes, like the back right pin on 6, you have to hit a perfect shot to even go at it. It's just insane. But there are a lot of funnel spots. 14's one. And they're just all over the golf course. There are. The pin on 18 on Sunday is an easy pin.
Yeah.
Where a back right pin is really difficult.
Yeah, the Friday
Still
pins-
the back right, still crazy to me that Rory hit in a bunker on 18. I mean, I'm so glad he won last year, but that
125.
I'm like 125. That's like that's my shot. Don't commit, block it right in the bunker. Usually short side is what I like to do.
Yeah.
It's still shocking. I think they were showing something last night. I know I watched it last year. I remember that. I just didn't remember that particular shot. After Rosie had made bird.
Piped his ride.
Yeah, Rosie tees off this afternoon. There's quite a few guys playing this afternoon. Timmy, as you had mentioned, this afternoon is going to be the way to go for scoring, or at least that's your prediction early, which I'm a big believer in too, because Bryson had that ridiculous Reebok jacket on this morning. Did you see that, Timmy?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know about if Reebok's going to make a comeback. I know he owns a part of that company
he's hoping.
now. So,
Well, I mean, who knows? I mean, this guy he's a world phenomenon. I don't see people running to buy Reebok because of it, but either way. So we got Siwoo 156, which we're on Siwoo. We like Xander. How do you say you think Kurt is in a good frame of mind for this week? Is he early or late?
he played early. He's probably through 7
Okay.
right now.
He
I
got
don't
off
know
to a
what
good
he
start.
is. I saw he was at 1 under
Yeah,
at
he
one point. He was tied
32.
third.
Yeah, how about Fred? Who's Fred?
Yeah.
So we got Fred. Go back down. You got Fred Couples, Minwoo Lee, and who's that guy? Amateur.
Asian amateur champion. Hello, Papdi.
Interesting.
Questionable pronunciation there. For
Yeah,
sorry.
that's so interesting. Fred's like, okay. Fred's probably going to win that group.
He might. That might be a good
Yeah.
bet today. Fred over Binwoo in the end.
Isn't it funny too that a guy like Freddie Couples just shows up to Augusta and is like you said, he's played in 40 Masters probably. He's only won one. But do you think it's just because he's so comfortable hitting those greens that they just doesn't feel hard to him anymore? It's got to be some of that, don't you think, Timmy?
Yeah, and I also probably like, it's like playing with your girlfriend for him probably, because it's like, he's not expected to do well, but he, so the pressure's off and he's, always so chill and cool anyway, right? It's like, what a great place to play good all the time.
I mean, what's
right?
that like?
I mean, unbelievable. But like you said, he's played 40 times and won at one time.
right. Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
that's crazy.
even 5 out of, or even 6 out of 55 is not a whatever happened.
Well, I heard this stat is first year since 1955. No Palmer, Nicholas, Phil, or Tiger.
Yeah, crazy.
Is it first?
I mean, it's crazy that the fact that golfers are not used to being hurt. So when guys are hurt, then you're like, where are you? What are you doing? But like the thing with Phil, I don't understand what's going on. He cited some family issue, but
I think it's his wife. I think his
Oh,
wife
maybe
is
sick.
sick.
he's been out of golf for a while now. Actually, when's the last time Phil Mickelson played a golf tournament?
He played Lib a couple weeks ago, but he hasn't played much. I don't know anything. I have heard that the health matter, the family issue is his wife's health.
Real deal.
I don't know if it's what else is beyond that.
Well,
But-
send our best out to Phil and Phil.
Yeah, Bryson made a nice bogey on too. Speaking of that, before we move on, because when a guy like Bryson is making bogeys, getting hot, would you say he's good at moving on to the next shot, even though sometimes he shows his frustration, or is that something that sticks with him for a while?
No, he
Timmy.
plays angry all the time,
Well, you got to do it.
but yeah, he's not going to be happy about that bogey on a 5 par for sure, especially, and man, I tell you what, remember when he came out with it's par 68 for me, because of his length, that was a curse on him, man.
It was.
I mean, if he could take anything back he's ever said, I think he'd take that back.
Yeah, I just remember it remember there was that big controversy on number 3. You were right there. I remember watching it. You're just
plug ball.
the plug ball, and you're just standing there, just like shaking your head, like, man, par 68, huh?
Yeah. Because you're not supposed to lose. Yeah, exactly. Well, and, he kind of got it. There's no place to lose a ball there. It landed and plugged, right? And you're not supposed to be able to lose a ball in casual water if there's reasonable evidence. And the cameraman's telling us where it went down exactly. Like, we know it's in a we're in a 3-foot circle of it and we can't find it. It's like that should not have happened.
Yeah. You there?
Left or right? Slightly outside the hole. Ooh. Well, we'll get Timmy back here in a second. A little technical
Difficulties. That's right. We'll get back with Timmy when he comes back online. Real quick, while we're waiting back to hear from Timmy, Richie and I were having a fun conversation last night. Is the don't be that guy? You know, that's the guy that when you're at a golf tournament, especially like the Masters, knows like every single rule to tell you exactly what's going to happen. That guy, and I'm going to circle around the golf ball. Yeah, that one to me at a tournament, it's like you see a golf ball gets by, you know, everybody's like this trying to get next to the ball. Ridiculous.
That's not what Augusta's for either, by the
No,
way.
Timmy, hang tight here.
No, yeah, you can't. You know, we don't want to know. We don't want anybody calling in this year from live coverage for rulings. Let's let the players play. There's plenty of people out there to call the rules this week. The winner, don't be that guy, is well, it could be Matthew Fitzpatrick's heel cut here, but but yeah, let's not be acting like we run the tournament out there to pay for us. You know, we don't need any of that.
All right, hang tight here, Timmy.
You know, we do have a new award winner. It's our first a new Toddler Zone award winner.
Yeah, it's about to be me when this computer doesn't work.
It's our good man, the Panda.
All right, hang on. I'm gonna hit.
Yo, bro.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Everything kind of froze, zapped out.
Yeah, I figured.
Let me see though.
You can splice it together, right?
Yeah, you're back. Okay.
There you go.
Okay,
There you go.
Richie. Okay, can you hear me, Timmy?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not sure what happened there with the mics. And but while Timmy stepped away, or Richie steps away for a sec, you were saying about as far as like Timmy, as far as Bryson playing angry, what do you think, guys? That I mean, because you hear all these stories. We might have to share a microphone. I don't know if you can hear me.
That's fine.
You hear all these stories about, you know, how these guys play and their attitude and this, that, and the other, and guys that are good at either, you know, yes, man, so, you know, they take 10 seconds to, you know, walk it out and move forward. But then some guys need that inner, you know, anger, so to speak. You know, you've seen a lot of different people play in a lot of different ways. And obviously with Bryson's success, it's hard to argue his style, but is that just something that's the only way he knows how to do it?
Well, no, I think he's just more of a psychopath, you know?
Okay.
He's got a lot of anger in him for sure. And I would say sometimes it helps him, but you know,
Right.
the reality is most times it probably hurts everybody,
Right.
you know, and he just gets negative and it's hard. I mean, you know, I feel like at Augusta, these first 6 holes, man, if you can get, or first 7, if you can get through the first 7 even par, you're going to have a great day. So, you know, I saw Carlos Ortiz. He was like 7 over through 5.
Brutal.
They're like, you know, what is the caddy saying to him? And he's saying, come on, man, it's okay. But he's knowing, okay, well, I'm leaving. I'll be at Hilton Head on Saturday with Tim.
What's going on in South Carolina?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You already know. What is, speaking of that, I saw Kurt's 2 under right now as we speak. Tommy Fleetwood, 2 or 3 under. Jose Maria Olazabal was 1 under. When you were at the Masters and you see some of these guys, P. Reed, birdie, eagle, par, first 3 holes, and you see some of these old guys, because I can't imagine there's other majors you go to where you're going to see the guy that won the U.S. Open in 1975 walking around. And obviously, I know you're there working and doing all those things, but it's got to kind of be a step back and cool moment when you are walking over to the chipping green and there's Jose Maria Olazabal and Bernhard Langer just shooting the shit, hitting chip shots, and you gotta be like, man, this is cool. Have you had some moments like that?
Oh yeah, we've played with Bernhard, and you know, when we played with him, he didn't say a word. He was just
Standard German.
like a machine, right? And we played 36 with him. We were paired with him, you know, Thursday, Friday, and he walks over to me when we finished, he walks up to me and he's like, "Hey, Tim," he goes, "You do a great job with Bryson." And I was like, I was totally caught off guard, right? Like, I didn't think he was paying attention to anything, right? Because, you know, he's just quiet and on point. And I was just like, that was so cool to have this legend come over and tell me something like that, you know? So, you know, I mean, yeah, it's amazing to have those guys around, right? You respect them so much. And, you know, Vijay Singh's always been one of my favorite golfers. I know a lot of people don't like him, but, you know, it's so great to, like, you know, Vijay hasn't been around, hasn't really done anything lately, right? But I love seeing him. and we've had an opportunity to play with him. It's been great. So yeah, the old guys are amazing.
That's really cool. You find him on the range a little bit, I'd say, out
Oh,
there
man.
every day, just sitting there
He-
pounding balls, getting calloused out.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I can only imagine the amount of people that have come up to you during your Bryson years and just were like, God bless you.
What can I get
Dude,
you?
the funniest thing ever happened to me in regards to that. We were playing at La Quinta. Okay. We were playing La Quinta Country Club in the Bob Hope or whatever it is now, American Express. And we're playing with half man, half amazing Andres Gonzalez, right? We're on
I've
like
never that name in a while.
we're on this. Yeah, it was like Bryson's rookie year. Yeah, he's a fucking nut. Timmy, stop. We were walking off this par 3. He's like, stop. And I turn around and Bryson stops and he comes up and he goes, you need a hug. He gave me a hug on the tee box, dude. Because Bryson was going berserk the whole round. I was like, I thought it was so funny, dude. So
Just
funny.
give the man a hug.
Well, that's not as good as the time you almost killed him and then he won the U.S. Open 4 days later.
Yeah. Yeah,
true.
exactly. Yeah, that was crazy.
Man.
All right, give me. We know you love Siwoo. Give me one more guy we're laying smack on this afternoon who hasn't teed off.
God, dude, you know what? I heard a bunch. I mean, you hear all these crazy stats, right? And one of them involved Jordan Spieth. So, you know what, man? I don't think for some people, I don't think it matters how you're playing when you get to Augusta.
I agree.
It's just you get a new gear, and he knows he can win there. He's done it, and he wants to win again. I mean, why not, dude?
I would.
Jordan Spieth.
Yeah, I'd pull harder for that on a Saturday afternoon.
Siwoo and Spieth on Sunday.
Yeah, and Scotty's going to be hard to beat, I think. Scotty's going to be in the mix. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah. So right
So-
as we're looking at this, Patrick Reed 3 under through 3, Olafable 2 under through 10.
Down the clock.
What a stud! Holmes at 1 under through 11. Kurt birdied 6 and 7, so he's coming to 8, looking for his 3rd birdie in a row. Looks like he made only 1 bogey so far. So I'm looking forward to this day, and obviously just a special week. Before we go, I wanted to ask. We wanted to do a few. Yeah, I don't know. We talked about the guy that knows all the rules. I mean, all your time caddying, we were talking about, I don't know if you heard us this when we were going through some difficulty about, the guy that is at every golf tournament when a ball is somewhere and like knows every rule and, they all crowd around. I mean, how many times you going up there and are you just like, dude, can you give me 2 feet? Like my player's hitting it this way. Do you ever just get annoyed or do you just hopefully wait for someone to show up that starts moving these people away? Because to me, those kind of people on the golf course at these golf tournaments can be really annoying. Do you have any, like you're over there in the woods and everybody's circling around the ball and you're trying to just walk through people without assaulting them?
Yeah, the only place I've ever had a problem is Waste Management, hole 3. I pushed this kid because he was like wasted in my face. I think I pushed him into a cactus or a bush or something. But, and it was totally fine there. I could imagine doing that at Augusta, right? But I do, it is annoying when you're in the crowd because everybody has their chairs at Augusta, and it's like, hey, I need everybody, I'll always say, like, if I need you to move 10 feet, I'll say move 30 because if I say move 10 feet, they'll move 2 feet, right?
Yeah.
They don't want to get out of their position. But, Augusta, the volunteers there, they're so on point. They get everybody out, get you in the, and they get everybody back to their perfect spot. So they did an amazing job there. Everything's perfect at Augusta.
Yeah.
Everybody's on their best behavior. There's no heckling. I mean, everybody is just on point, which is really refreshing at a golf tournament. I do think there's a place for Waste Management once a year, but in Augusta, the Open Championship, best fans ever.
Yeah, that's a great point. You're right. We've talked about this before. All the people that, it's one thing if, you're a Redskins fan and you're going to an Eagles game and it's at RFK, or not RFK, but I'm going back, but you know what I'm saying? And the Eagles, you're yelling at
Visiting
them,
turf.
that, right?
Yeah.
Visiting a turf. Like, I just never felt like I had a certain affiliation with golfers. There's guys I want to win, but just the need to say some of the stuff that these people are saying. And it is kind of refreshing when you are at Augusta. Nobody has their phones and everybody kind of knows the rules. And then I think just Europe in general, especially over at the Open Championship, Bryson just birdied 3. They have the respect for the game and we love this game. This show's called God Bless Golf. We love this game. We want to promote the game. And sometimes we want to call out the nonsense. And I think trying to be some kind of person at a sporting event and especially at golf, that like you think it makes you unique or it's funny. It's just it's a bit ridiculous. Waste management is fun. Let's go. Let's with our boys. Hopefully no one gets arrested and we're going to have a good time. And the players know that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
But when that starts carrying over just week after week, because some guys like, oh, I got this ticket. Let's go, clown show. Yeah. I just don't know. I don't think at any age that's ever anything appropriate.
I know your place too, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, Timmy, there's a good place for that once a year. We keep it that way. I mean, like, and other tournaments deserve that respect too, because until you've been a part of the golf tournament, truly like a big event, you have no idea how much work goes into putting it on. So have a little respect for the people who are pretty much volunteering their life to put this golf tournament on and giving up their golf course and a little bit of that along the way. That kind of boils back into.
But that message can also go for some players. Some of these tour players show up, and I would imagine disrespect volunteers as well.
Yes, for sure. It's few and far between.
Right.
But there are guys that do it.
Yeah, they're just and that to me is even more ridiculous than the fans. The fans actually.
Dustin Johnson early leaderboard watch.
All right, so Timmy's on Siwoo and Jordan Spieth. I'm on Fleetwood and Bryson, and I did throw a little nugget on Siwoo at 65-1. Spice, who do you like? And then we'll close the show down and say adios.
I'm going to go ahead and stick with my prediction. I'm stealing from Shane Bacon. I'm going P. Reed. That's my guy. I think he's off to a hot start. I've been consistent on the show saying P. Reed. True. Second jacket coming his way. And then, I really, really want to pull for somebody who, like a Spieth or Justin Thomas. I just don't know if they're playing good enough. Justin Thompson.
I'm not
enough
right now.
He's also our inaugural Tyler Zone Award winner. Coming home too, I think John Rahm's going to be right there. I mean, he's just playing some really good golf. He hasn't finished, outside of LIV top 5 in a long time. So I think Rahm and P. Reed.
Who's on playing with that? Do we know? He's in the afternoon as well.
What about Terrell Hatton?
There's some scoring going on right now, but I don't think Rahm tees off till later.
Dude, let me real quick before we go. I do want to show, everybody that loves the Masters. I've always wondered, when someone makes a eagle or makes a hole in one, they get crystal at Augusta, and I've never seen it. And I actually have one. I don't know if you can see that. So this is from Kurt Kitayama.
Put your hand behind it.
Put your hand behind it.
No, that ain't work. Pour a silver bullet in there.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
He's got the hole number on there too?
Yes. Hole 2, he made eagle, has the year, his name on it. He made 2 eagles that week. So they sent 2 glasses. He has 2. I don't know if they're always glasses every year. I have no idea. I've never seen them before. Bryson never gave me one. But, this is up next to the U.S. Open trophy that Bryson did give me, which is amazing.
That's sick.
But I just always was curious what that is. And, it's funny. These guys love collecting crystal. Kurt, we talked about it. He didn't make any eagles his first year playing. And then this is from 24 and he did. And it was like, we're thinking about it, It's like a trophy. It's a trophy from Augusta National in my home,
right.
And I can't believe, it shows how cool Kurt is to give me something, of value like that. I don't know if you guys have ever seen any crystal, from anybody. Dude, it's just really cool. And it's something that the players think about and cherish.
Yeah.
Jason has his crystal sitting on next to his U.S. Open trophy, right? That shows you how big Augusta is. So it's a really cool thing they do.
That is cool.
And I can't imagine how much crystal Tiger has, What does he do
dedicated to just his eagle trophies?
Yeah. I mean, he'd have to. I bet he has 500 eagles. I mean, maybe not that many, but I bet he has 100 pieces of crystal.
I mean, yeah, old Tiger. Hopefully, hopefully he'll get back in the crystal condition soon. But yeah, that is so cool, Timmy. And we were talking about it earlier. Why is this tournament so cool? And these players, and here are the best players in the world, guys that are coming in on
26 pieces of crystal.
26 eagles Tiger's made. What's second?
Wow.
You got these guys coming in on these Citation 10s or Global Express or these 40, 20, 40, $30 million planes, and they're coming to play the Masters, and in the back of their mind, they're thinking, man, I got to make a fucking eagle this year. Like, you got a crystal last.
No, dude, no doubt. They're thinking that they want that. When they make eagle, they're thinking, I guarantee you they go to their caddy and go, got some crystal.
Yeah, yeah.
So at Pine Valley, if you're a part of any, whether it's a member gas, a crump, you name the tournament. When you win, you're not getting shop credit. You're getting a plate. And it's a plate. It's like a dinner plate that you would never eat dinner on.
Right.
And
It's iron.
yeah, and it's kind of one of those things where, yeah, I'd rather have 500 in shop credit PV, but now I got a plate that says I actually won a tournament that was there. I mean, that's and I think that's in the Crystal. Yes, it's kind of like the par 3. Like, if the Crystal is cool, what does the par 3 trophy look like? Aaron Rye won the par 3, by the way.
Aaron Rye, you know what they call him?
Tell me.
The weatherman. Because they say he's always predicting the rain with his rain gloves.
Rain gloves. The 2 gloves coming out of
Dude,
nowhere.
let me tell you, this is not about Augusta, but it is a funny story with Kurt. Kurt won Bay Hill, right? And the Arnold Palmer Invitational. And so they, on the green, they give you, the trophies there at the trophy presentation, but he puts on a red cardigan. Okay. And so anyway, fast forward several months later, and I'm like, hey, you ever get your trophy from Augusta? And he's like, yeah, I got it. I took it home that day. I'm like, no, the trophy. He's like, no, you don't get the trophy. You just get the red cardigan. And I'm like, no, dude, that trophy is amazing, right? It's made by Tiffany. I think it's $50,000.
Wow.
This beautiful trophy.
Yeah.
Anyway, we finished that tour event, go home, and he sends me a picture of it. He's like, it was at my house when I got home. And like, he had the Tiffany box and
It's like the big long one, right?
It is huge.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful silver trophy made by Tiffany. It's like, what a cool piece, dude. Like one of the coolest trophies. Could you imagine having the Augusta clubhouse sitting on your, in your bar?
Yeah.
Hey, what's that?
Yeah.
I won this tournament.
I have what I think is the coolest trophy in amateur golf with the Gasparilla, and that thing, it's that massive skull. And there is something cool about those kind of trophies, but that is so funny. He didn't even realize he didn't have the trophy. And then he
didn't realize he was getting it, and I was like,
So I just etched his
dude.
name in it and passed it down.
God, that's so
yeah.
Oh,
So
well,
anyway.
Timmy, Richie, another great show, episode 10, Masters edition. Timmy's headed to Hilton Head next week. I'm going to get some content up there, hopefully. Safe travels, and looking forward to watching the Masters this week. Timmy, are you able to tell us who you're caddying for next week?
Yes. Yeah. I'm caddying for Gary Woodland. His caddy, Butch Brennan, he qualified for the Senior PGA Championship,
Wow.
I believe.
Not only does he tote the bag, he carries some sticks.
The Senior PGA,
Is that right?
How do you qualify for that?
I don't know.
Okay, cool.
But
Well, good for him.
He's back-to-back years. I didn't know. I just found out from Cobra Puma guys. But yeah, so I mean that's a good reason to miss.
Yeah.
I hate to. I mean, good for me too because it's an elevated event, great money,
Flattest walk on tour.
flattest walk-on tour, man. And Hilton Head, dude. If you've never been, that's one of the funnest tournaments of the year, dude.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
Yeah, I think I'll be there Tuesday. Anyway, well, cool. Well, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the week. And as always, God bless golf, everybody.
Thanks, fellas. Yeah, God bless golf. I'm excited for this week.